this episode really did have a lot of drama. We still don't know who sent the tape. There was the whole thing like Serena was being accused of sending the tape. Chuck was, but nobody seems to know except for Georgina, which we don't know who it is. We just know that Georgina seems to know who sent that tape to Gossip Girl and ruined Blair's wedding to Louis. And frankly, I'm anxious to see where that goes, although I have a feeling, like most of the times with this show, I'll be disappointed by who and how that all plays out. But watching Gossip Girl for me has become like watching a train wreck. You don't think you should watch anymore. Part of you doesn't really want to watch it, but you can't help but keep watching it anyway. It's like a drug, I guess, for some people, especially me. And frankly, it's a frustrating show. But I loved this episode. It did have some good mystery. Georgina's back. She's causing trouble. Everybody thinks she's Gossip Girl. That could be interesting if she is, although based on, things I've read from the producers, she's not necessarily Gossip Girl. She's just taking over for Gossip Girl, who's vacated running the website after Blair and Chuck were in the car accident that was originally meant for Nate. And, that accident caused Blair to have a miscarriage. So I don't know how they'll be working, the actual Gossip Girl back into the equation. But for now, Georgina's claiming to be Gossip Girl, and it's always fun to have Georgina around. She's really knows how to shake up the drama. Michelle Trachtenberg, however you say her last name, really plays the part well. It's a shame that she'll never win like an Emmy for the role. Part of me thinks she does, although the writing for the show, will never, ever in a million eternities be Emmy worthy in terms of its writing and most of its acting. But for Michelle, I think she's a great actress, and I like that this time around, she's there to have fun. She's not trying to necessarily be bad in her mind. She's just kind of having fun because she's bored with her husband, which that's kind of their relationship, especially the last scene. That really confuses me about the dynamic about that relationship. I really want to know more about Georgina's marriage, although I don't know if we necessarily will. The writers don't always do the best job of following things up or setting things up. They just kind of will set things up and then just kind of let it linger and never really resolve it. Or they just will be like, bam, this character's in love with this character. Exhibit A being Serena suddenly saying Dan's always been the one she loves, which that really is a load of crap. And I really think, personally for me, I've read a lot of people have complaints about this season. Frankly, I've liked it. Chuck's not, saying, oh, I gotta protect my father's legacy. I've gotta make sure that I keep Bass Industries in the family. His always wearing business suits, he still does that, and I think that's kind of ridiculous considering he's, supposed to be in his early 20s, but I'm glad he's at least not, constantly talking about business dealings, Bass Industries, and all that. And I like that, that the writers are at least trying something new with having Dan be in love with Blair and pining for her. Watching him pine for Blair has been so much more refreshing than him constantly bouncing back and forth between being Serena, then being in love with Vanessa, then being in love with, Olivia for a couple episodes, and, whatever. It's nice to see him not focusing on Serena and that her attempts to win him back over, aren't working on him anymore. And I hope that continues. I hope the writers, that's one thing I like, the writers seem to finally have made it so he's immune to Serena's attempts to get him back, which really are pathetic. I'm just glad that the writers have made Dan that way. Some of the characters have been developed in pretty bad ways, but yeah, I thought this was a good episode, and I'm really anxious to see where things with the real Charlie and Ivy when she gets back will be going. That's really going to be interesting when that whole truth comes out. The shit will definitely hit the fan there. And yeah, I thought this really was a pretty good episode. Except, one of the most ridiculous things for me was definitely the whole thing with Blair being unable to leave Louis and get a divorce like she wanted because of this dowry. I mean, it's 2012, people. I know they're royalty, but are you seriously kidding me that in a prenup in 2012, they basically said if Blair ever leaves Louis that, Blair's family has to pay, we don't know how much amount of money. Apparently it's enough to really put, Blair's family in financial ruin. Apparently it could cause Eleanor to lose her company. It's ridiculous. I think it's just an example of the writers being contrived in that sense. It's just an excuse to keep Louis in the picture, and I just want Louis and his family to go away. His sister, Beatrice, is so weird. The whole thing with that minister, that was just messed up. Anyway, but, characters and relationships do seem to have a way of overstaying their welcome on the show. I hope to God that Louis leaves the show soon. I don't like him, and is one of the few things that's really bugging me about the show. It's been interesting. I've kind of basically had to realize, yeah, it's always going to be frustrating. You just kind of gotta say, oh well, and try to put the frustrating stuff out of your mind and focus on the things I do like. But that's usually impossible to completely filter all that out. Anyway, I apologize if my conversation of this, doing my post this way has been a little scattered. This is all new for me. I'm, going to try to do that, get better and, get more rehearsed with this. But in terms of my final score on this episode, I'd have to give it an A- because it's pretty good, but yeah, there were some pretty ridiculous moments that I just thought were bad, downright bad. But yeah, it was a good episode, and for the people that are watching this on YouTube, the address for my blog is therandomthoughtsofawriter.blogspot.com. My Twitter handle is @writer6 if you want to follow me on Twitter. Like always, I'd like to thank all the people that read my blog and, who promote it and advertise it. Thank you. My blog wouldn't be a success without you guys. And I hope that people will enjoy this video. And I ask for your patience if you found parts of my style doing a video commentary on the episode was frustrating. I'll try to get more polished. Anyway, that's all for now. Taylor Madison Street signing out.